Hey everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. And if you're listening in the podcast, thank you so much for being here. It is Wednesday, April 24th, 2024. I'm here to give you a follow-up update in case you haven't heard yet regarding the disappearance and the murder of Madeline Soto from Kissimmee, Florida. And before I continue, I just want to say thank you so much, everybody who has been subscribing. Thank you so much, everyone in the podcast following me on Spotify. It really means a lot. Please follow me on Spotify if you're listening in the podcast, and also on the podcast. I'm also on the iHeartRadio podcast. Thank you so much for the support. It really means a lot. I make a lot of effort to come here, give you breaking news, and just talking about daily news and whatever is happening specifically in the Christian news scene, I guess you can say. But I just wanted to take this time to thank you so much for your support. Thank you everybody who has been subscribing on YouTube. So the case of Madeline Soto really shocked me when I came. I think it was 2 months ago. I came on February 26th. I came here, told you what happened, and I spoke about, you know, how Stephan Stern looked so suspicious during that interview that the mom was giving to live news, right? So Madeline disappeared. Accordingly to the first story that we heard from this case was that Stephen Stearns, which is the mom's boyfriend, living boyfriend, he dropped her off at school across the street from the school, and she never made it there. And he just looked very odd. The whole thing, seeing them talking to the press and talking, her doing a live interview with a local news station, and Stephen Stern just kind of like paying meticulous attention to what she was doing, meaning the mom, and what she was sharing with the media really concerned me. And I know a lot of people commented on that, and they're like, how can you know accuse them or accuse the mom or being involved, anything like that. Let me just tell you something. What happened to Madeline Soto is not something that hasn't happened before. So when you see year after year a case that's kind of similar, unfortunately, this is what goes on in people's home. You wish things like this didn't happen. You wish that kids don't get abused. You wish that every family that you see is a happy family. Like I told you guys, separation, divorce really is hard on everybody, and it can take years for you to overcome that. And in this case, her mom to have a boyfriend and he was abusing her, and you have a teen. I think she was 13, right? She was wishing she had 13 years old. She was wishing she could just kind of like disappear. It tells you those are just the works of the enemy, because any negative thoughts that come to your mind about your life or the way you look, anything like that, is not from the Lord. So the enemy is running rampant. I said this many times, and it's just so sad. So we see, case after case. This is not something that has not happened yet. So it's very easy to look at a statistic and say all the details and the way he was behaving kind of sounds like he's kind of like involved in this. Usually, we know this from statistics, and you guys know I do follow a lot of crime news and things like that, cases and things that happened in the past. Usually, the person who last saw the victim alive, the last person who sees them alive, usually pretty like 80% of the time they kind of know like what happened to them if they don't come back, right? He is the last person who saw her alive. So it was just a matter of time. 2 months after, the Kissimmee police now says he has been, this is the news, Stephen Stern has been charged with first-degree murder in the death of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. So the news for today is that he has been officially charged. I actually thought that happened already, but They have to create, get all the evidence, excuse me, and get all the evidence and follow through and do their investigation before they come up with something like this, right? Because I don't think they even had a video, right? So it's just heartbreaking to know that when you're 13, like you're growing up in life and you're learning so much, and for her to come home to him, right? Meaning that she was dealing with some type of abuse and it happened because like some of this investigation already come out, how has already come out, how the family members were shocked to know that he was abusing the child. And it's just so crazy that this goes on. I said this many times, guys. Look for change behavior in your kids. That's something I don't have any kids. This is something that I learned from my mom. My mom will know exactly. Like I would just come through there and she's like, "What's going on with you?" Because you're not normal. I'm like, everything's fine. I'm good. She said, something happens. What happened to you? And I appreciate that so much because you can never hide anything from her. She knew immediately. And you have to look for change behavior. A lot of parents, and I'm not accusing, but because of the busy life that everybody has these days, well, she don't want to talk to me, so I'm just gonna let her be. I understand that there's, psychological terms and the therapy and all of that. Your child is your child, and sometimes if they say I don't want to talk about it right now, you can also come back again. Okay, don't let it be because you're too tired. You're like, I'm not gonna bother. Forget it. They don't like me anymore. They don't want to talk to me. When I have my kids, I'm gonna be persistent. If I see some type of change in behavior, I'm gonna come back. Okay, so we have to do better. I'm not accusing because things happen in life, right? But I'm saying like it's just you have to look and change behavior. And don't be so quick to let people in your home. And people can say, "Oh, you are accusing the parent." Let me just tell you, there is such a a fear, I guess, for a lot of people that they don't want, they say they don't want to end up alone. And I do, if this is offensive to you, I do apologize. But the majority of the time, this happens, right? And you have to, man, do some searches on people. Don't just go based on what you see. Okay, there are people who are living double life. You have to go beyond that. And if you don't have the time and effort to do that, then just, connect with the Lord, right? Pray about it and say, God, is this the right person for me? Is this the person that you want me to have in my home around my children? Reveal anything that is hidden from me, Lord. You have to have an honest conversation with the Lord, right? People are struggling with a lot of stuff. Meaning, like this man, for him to do something like that, something mentally happened to him in the past, some type of abuse happened in the past that he continued, and I guess you never overcame that, right? So then it's a rotation thing. When people get abused, it's a rotation thing. If unless they get delivered, right, in the name of Jesus, or they in they get delivered, or they also effort right in the part to stay away and to maybe like seek counseling. A lot of people go through therapy when they have been abused when they're younger. It's just so sad that Madeline had to go through this. Like I don't know how to explain it better. It's so sad to know that there's so many other kids who go through things like this, right? Like a child is a gift from the Lord. That is your child. If your child has some type of change in behavior, you as a parent need to investigate and find out what's going on. Okay? Because we live such a busy life these days, it's so convenient to say, you take them to school, sure, okay, I'll do that for you. Because when people want to do, not everybody obviously, but they make it easier for you. I'll pick her up, I'll bring her back, I'll do everything, right? Yeah. Yeah, that you can drop her, but I'll pick her up. I want to have a conversation with her. bringing her back from school. Like, you have to look at all of that. And we, like I said, the convenience, because everybody's busy, everybody has a job. Excuse me, a lot of people see convenient, they're like, he's so convenient, like, he brings them to school, he drops them off and brings them back and cook dinner for them. I just go to work. Like, it's so convenient. You have to sometimes, if you have to go beyond that and say, thank you for doing all of that, but I'm gonna, do half of that what you're doing, and then share and see if you see any change in behavior, no matter what age, right? No matter what age the child is. So let me read to you briefly. Here it says here, a Kissimmee man already in jail, facing dozens of charges of sexual battery, of a child molestation, and possession of child pornography, has now been charged with first-degree murder in the death of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. According to authorities, Stephan Michael Stearns, who was supposed to drop the teen off at school, is believed to be the last person to see Soto alive when she went missing on February 26th. Her body was found in a wooded area of Osceola County on March 1st. It says here, Orange County investigators initially identified Stearns as the boyfriend of Soto's mother, but the arrest warrant from Kissimmee Police Department said she identified him as the girl's stepfather. No information was immediately available to clarify if Stern was indeed married to Soto's mother at the time of the girl's death. It says here, according to February 29 arrest affidavit, during the investigation into Soto's disappearance, investigators reported sitting down for an interview with Stearns, who gave them the permission to search his phone, but he said that had accidentally performed a factory reset on his phone on February 26th. That I remember learning that. I'm laughing because, let me tell you, when I switch phones, I get the upgrade, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sell my old phone. It takes me forever to figure out how to do a factory reset on my phone. It takes me forever, to the point that I have to like research videos on how to do it, search the model of the phone, search it on the internet, all of that stuff. Nobody accidentally resets their phone to factory reset. Like, you gotta go through a lot of steps. It's not like you're deleting a photo or you call somebody by mistake because you're holding the finger too long. That's different. It's just crazy. It's like, oh, you can search my phone. My phone, I have no problem, but I just did a factory reset on it. Okay, yeah, that's not a red flag at all, right? It's just crazy. So, yeah, it says here on March 12th, he was charged with 60 additional counts. And just today, okay, April 24, I'm checking the date because I already messed up earlier. Just today, April 24, 2024, he was officially charged with first-degree murder in the death of 13-year-old Madeline Soto, guys. Keep the family in your prayers, and anybody who's listening or watching this, I just want to say, yeah, a child is a gift from the Lord. You have to, you have to be more than just a name, mom or dad. You have to look more than, oh, they don't want to talk to me, so I'm not going to bother. Go beyond that. And because a lot of the times, when people are being, how do I know this? Because I like I said, I do do a lot of breaking news and do some cases that have been on crime. I think a lot of people who have been abused, they're not ready to talk right away. And we've seen it with the Cosby thing, with the Harvey Weinsteins, because people are like, she got abused in 1982. Why is she talking about it now? it, some people never recover from that. There's some type of shame that comes from that. They don't feel, that the victim usually feels like they did something wrong. A lot of the times they don't even think it's abuse, right? So, especially with kids, you have to check on people. Don't have a routine like, oh, I came early today and I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. Like, show up in the house unexpectedly to your home with your kids. See who's with them, babysitter, anything. Check on them. People, they don't even tell you something called flattery. People tell you what you want to hear. I'm not saying to live a life in suspicion, but like I said, you pray about it. And if you have a hunch, that's, pay attention to that. You're like, something is a little off, okay? Something is just not right. The way they're talking to each other, it's a little weird. Pay attention to that. That's what I'm gonna say. Thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel, and thank you so much for listening in the podcast. Have a good day. God bless. Hi everybody, this is Julissa. I'm here to invite you to my podcast, Julissa Designs, and it can be found on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can join me every day as I make episodes of the latest news, real life stories, and I also share my favorite Bible verse. Hope to see you then. God bless. Everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you want to know more about me, you can always visit www.julissadesigns.com. Have a great day, everybody. God bless.